What's up, business professionals? Welcome to another free business English video lesson. My name's Grant. I'm an award-winning business coach, and my job is to help you become the most effective professional English communicator possible. In this video, we are going to cover all of those confusing prepositions related to time. In, for, since, until, by. If you have ever been confused about which preposition to use, then this video will be perfect for you. We're going to start by learning exactly how to use each different preposition. Then at the end of this video, you will get a chance to practice everything you learned, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. Let's start with in. This might seem a little bit basic, but I'm going to give you guys some more advanced details. So if you already understand this, you should still watch because you might learn something new. The first situation you should use in is whenever you give a year. I started working here in 2014. You can also use in with months. We're planning on updating our system sometime in July. You can also use in with seasons. The biggest conference is in the summer, as well as with the words past, present, and future. I want to work abroad in the future. Finally, you can use in with parts of the day, except for night. So in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Also use in when you're talking about future events and you're saying the length of time until that event happens. For example, if you are at work, if it's 6 p.m. and you think you'll finish work at around 9, you can say, I should be done in 3 hours, because that's the length of time until you can actually leave the office. Next is on. You want to use on with days of the week. The next meeting will be on Wednesday, as well as specific dates. The next meeting will be on June 23rd. A bonus tip here. Sometimes in casual English, people actually remove the word on from these sentences, and that is also okay. You can say the next meeting will be on June 23rd. You could also say the next meeting will be June 23rd. That's not wrong. Both of these are correct. But this is an important tip. If you're talking about time, last, next, and this will actually replace the words on or in. So you could say next Wednesday, but not on next Wednesday. We're planning on updating our system sometime in July. That's fine. We're planning on updating our system sometime this July. That is also fine, but you would not say in this July. That's incorrect. At is pretty simple. You want to use at when you're talking about a specific time. This can be the time on a clock, like the webinar will start at 3:30 p.m. It can also just be the words moment or time. Sorry, I'm busy at the moment. Also, I do not know why, but you want to use at with night. I usually exercise at night after work. Now let's move on to for. You want to use for with ongoing continuous actions, things that happen continuously over a length of time, and you are saying how long that they happened. For example, I studied for 5 hours last night. That would be the length of time. Or I have worked here for 6 years. You want to use since in a similar situation when you're talking about something that happened continuously over a length of time, but instead of giving the time length, how long it happened, you would give the start time, when it started happening. So we said, I've worked here for 6 years. We could say, I have worked here since 2015. Because that is when me working here began. Another detail here is that since is usually used only for things that started in the past but are still happening now. So you should use a perfect verb tense like we did in the previous example. I have worked here since 2015, but you would not use since with past events, things that are already completely over. I studied for 5 hours last night is totally fine, but you couldn't really say I've studied since and then a time. It just wouldn't make sense in that sentence. So really only use since for things that are still occurring now. And also, there are multiple ways to explain the start time or the beginning when you use since. It doesn't have to be a specific year. You could say, I've worked here since 2015, but you could also say, I've worked here since I graduated college, or since I was 24 years old. Those are just fine. And finally, since and before can also be used with not if you're saying an action hasn't occurred for a length of time. For example, I haven't been to my office for 3 months, or I haven't been to my office since the COVID pandemic started. Now let's talk about until. Until also should be used with ongoing, continuous actions, and it's kind of the opposite of the word since, because with since, you're pairing it with the start time. With until, you're pairing it with the end time, when an action stopped or changed. If we say, I sleep until 9 or 10 a.m. on the weekends, that would mean you continuously sleep and then you wake up at 9 or 10 a.m., so that's when the situation ends. I have worked here since 2015. That would be the start time. And I want to work here until 2022. That would be the end time. And like since, until doesn't have to be used with a specific time. It could also be some other way of expressing that time. For example, I want to work here until I retire. Here is an important tip. This is a really common mistake. Because until is paired with the end time, whenever you say until now, that would mean the situation just ended or just changed. For example, if you say, I have worked there until now, that would mean that you just quit, like you just stopped working there. And most of the time, that is not what you mean to say. So if an action is still happening, you don't want to say until now. There are many ways to fix it, but one simple one is just to use still. Instead of, I worked there until now, I still work there now. Now let's talk about by. By should be used with deadlines, the latest possible time something can happen. For example, I have to finish my report by Friday. That would mean that the report needs to be done on Friday or earlier. A lot of English learners mix up until and by. The key difference here is that until is used with ongoing actions and the end time. So I studied until 2 a.m. last night. Study is something that happens continuously over a length of time. When you use verbs like that, that's when you want to use until. Because by is about a deadline, usually it's paired with words like start, finish, done, complete, things of that nature. The project needs to be done by the end of May. Okay, that was a lot of information, but now it is your turn to practice. For each blank below, insert one of the words that we learned in this video. You can pause the video, and when you're ready to see the answers, click play. Okay, here we go. I moved to the marketing team in 2017 and worked there for 2 years until May 2019. Then I was promoted to marketing director. Balancing work and life was really hard for me at that time. I had to work until 10 or 11 p.m. most days and be at the office by or at, actually either one would work here, 8 a.m. the next day. However, it was all worth it because I just got promoted again to regional director and will start that position in 2 weeks. So in summary, you want to use in with a variety of situations. These can include years, months, parts of the day other than night, the words past, present, and future, seasons, as well as a length of time when you're talking about something that will happen in the future. I'll finish this video in a couple of minutes. Use on with days and specific dates, so Thursday, August 12th. And remember, this next and last can replace in or on. So I went there last Tuesday, not on last Tuesday. And you can use at with specific times. Use for, since, and until with ongoing actions, things that are happening over a length of time. Use for when you say that length of time, how long it was happening. Since when you give the start time, and until when you give the end time. Remember, don't use until now if something is still happening, and you want to use by with deadlines. All right, that was a lot of information, but I hope that was helpful. You might have to watch this video again to absorb everything, but congratulations on making it all the way to the end. If you haven't done so, you should definitely hit that subscribe button before you leave. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.